Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Tuesday, December 26, 2023. Today we're going to recap all the football from the weekend as well as college basketball and NBA and NHL. Get to everything today. We'll do a portfolio, news and notes, and best bet. But we have to start with soccer today only because there's 10 o'clock games that we have to pick. And there's games underway already. So we'll kind of work backwards to do Premier League first. So Friday, Aston Villa, Sheffield United 1-1 draw. Saturday, West Ham over Man United 2-0. Burnley over Fulham 2-0. Luton over Newcastle 1-0. Bournemouth over Nottingham Forest 3-2. Tottenham over Everton 2-1. Liverpool, Arsenal 1-1 draw. Man City, Brentford postponed. And then Christmas Eve, Wolves over Chelsea 2-1. And then today, Nottingham Forest over Newcastle 3-1. That was a 6 a.m. game. And then 10 o'clock, you have Bournemouth and Fulham. Just going to pull up FanDuel very quickly. Bournemouth minus 105, Fulham plus 270, draw plus 270. I'm going to go with Bournemouth as a home favorite at minus 105. Sheffield United and Luton. Sheffield plus 145, Luton plus 200, draws plus 220. I'm going to go with the draw here at plus 220. 12:30 Burnley, Liverpool. Liverpool minus 290, Burnley 7-1. The draws plus 420. We're going over 3.5 goals at plus 126. And last but not least, 3 o'clock, Man United and Aston Villa. Man United plus 135, Aston Villa's plus 180. The draws plus 270. This is a hard one because Man United, I feel like, has been a disappointment this year, and Aston Villa has been much better. I'm going with Aston Villa plus 180. I really am doing it. All right, ELC. We'll go over everything from the weekend, look ahead to today and what's gone on so far. Friday, Bristol City over Hull 3-2, Swansea over Preston 2-1. Saturday, Leeds over Ipswich 4-0, Watford over Blackburn 2-1, Leicester over Rotherham 3-0, Borough over West Brom 1-0, Norwich City over Huddersfield 2-0, Plymouth Birmingham 3-3 draw, Southampton over QPR 1-0, Cardiff over Sheffield Wednesday 2-1, Stoke Millwall 0-0 draw, Coventry over Sunderland 3-0. And then, so far today, Preston over Leeds 2-1, and then Millwall has a 1-0 lead over QPR. All right, big slate today, 10 o'clock, you have Cardiff and Plymouth. I'm just going to pull up ELC real quick. Cardiff's minus 120, Plymouth plus 190, draw plus 260. Under 2.5 goals, even money. Coventry, Sheffield Wednesday. Coventry minus 140, Sheffield plus 390, draw plus 250. Sheffield Wednesday's been hot, so I'm going to go with the draw plus 250. Huddersfield, Blackburn. Blackburn plus 120, Huddersfield plus 210, draw plus 260. For this one, I'm going to do Blackburn plus 120. Hull, Sunderland. Hull plus 170, Sunderland plus 155, draw plus 240. For this one, we are going to do the draw plus 240. Rotherham, Borough. Borough minus 170, Rotherham plus 430, draw plus 290. Under 2.5 goals, minus 102. Southampton, Swansea. Southampton minus 270, Swansea 6-1. The draws plus 370. Over 3.5 goals plus 148. Watford, Bristol City. Watford minus 110, Bristol plus 310, draw plus 240. We'll go with Watford at home, minus 110. West Brom, Norwich. West Brom's minus 115. Norwich is 3-1. The draw's plus 250. I'm going West Brom at minus 115 is a slight home favorite. 12-15, Birmingham, Stoke. Birmingham plus 185, Stoke plus 145, draw plus 220. I'm going to go with Stoke at plus 145 as a road favorite. And 245, you have Ipswich and Leicester. Probably the best game on the board. Leicester's favorite plus 130, Ipswich plus 190, draw plus 240. Best two teams in the league. I think Leicester's better. So I'm going to take them at plus 130. Okay. We have Premiership today. We'll just go over the weekend's results. So Saturday, Celtic over Livingston 2-0. Hearts over St. Mirren 2-0. Kilmarnock over St. Johnstone 2-1. Dundee, Aberdeen, and Ross County and Hibernian were postponed. And then Sunday, Rangers over Motherwell 2-0. Then 10 o'clock today, you have Dundee at Celtic. Or, I'm sorry, Celtic at Dundee. I read that wrong. Celtics a minus 460 favorite. Dundee 7-1. The draw's 5-1. I'm going over 3.5 goals at plus 108. Next will be Saudi Pro League. Results Friday: Al Ali over Al Hazim 4-0. Al Nasser over Al Atifaq 3-1. Al Aqdoud over Al Shabab 1-0. Saturday, Al Fateh over Al Tawan 3-1. And Al Raid over Al Idiad 3-1. Sunday, Al Weda over Al Riyadh 3-1. And then 1 o'clock today, Al Idiad and Al Nasser. We're just gonna try to pull that up. Really quick. I don't see it. But I think Al Nassr should win that game. And I just want to make sure there's no other leagues. So, Syria Friday. No La Liga till the 2nd. Bundesliga is off till the 12th. League One's off till the 12th. And Eredivisie, I believe, is off until the 12th as well. So, that's it for the soccer. And now we'll start with NFL. In terms of football, we'll go over the rest of the week. 16 slate. It's a weird week because we don't do podcasts on Christmas, and that was a Monday, so we don't have Monday Night Football to pick. We did that, obviously, on Friday. All right, Saturday, Steelers over the Bengals 34-11. Bills over the Chargers 24-22 in a game that should have been a lot more lopsided. Sunday, Browns over the Texans 36-22. Jets over the Commanders 30-28 on a game-winning field goal by Greg Zuerlein. Seahawks over the Titans 20-17. Falcons over the Colts 29-10. Packers over the Panthers 33-30. Lions over the Vikings 30-24. Bucks over the Jags 30-12. Bears over the Cardinals 27-16. Dolphins over the Cowboys 22-20. Pats over the Broncos 26-23 on Sunday Night Football on NFL Network. And then Christmas Day, Raiders over the Chiefs 20-14 in a big upset. I had the under in that game as Fab 5 4-1 on the week. My one loss was the Colts. Eagles over the Giants 33-25, so the Giants covered a big number. And then the Ravens upset the 49ers 33-19 in what was the worst performance of the season for the San Francisco 49ers at home on national television. They had the worst game, or their worst game at the wrong time. And now everybody's talking about Lamar for MVP. Now I'll move on to the college football. Bowl results to go over from Friday and Saturday, and then we have some bowl games today to talk about. So Friday, Georgia Tech over UCF 30-17. Saturday, Duke over Troy 17-10. So Georgia Tech over UCF was Gasparilla. Duke over Troy was Birmingham. Camellia Bowl, Northern Illinois over Arkansas State 21-19. Armed Forces, Air Force over James Madison 31-21. Idaho Potato, Georgia State over Utah State 45-22. Ventures Bowl, South Alabama over Eastern Michigan 59-10. Vegas Bowl, Northwestern over Utah 14-7. And Hawaii Bowl, Coastal Carolina over San Jose State 24-14 out in Hawaii. All right, today, 2 o'clock on ESPN, the Quick Lane Bowl from Detroit, Bowling Green, and Minnesota. Obviously, Minnesota, 5-win team. They're in a bowl because we didn't have enough 6-win teams. My line here is pick them at 48 and 9/20. Minnesota's probably favored in this spot. They went 5-7. I think Bowling Green went 7-5 this season. Yes, that's correct. Minnesota's giving 3.5 totals, 40.5. I like the over. That is way too low. I know Minnesota's been in a lot of low-scoring games this year, but now they're playing a MAC defense rather than a Big Ten defense. I almost said Pac-12. Whoops. But they're playing a MAC defense now rather than a Big Ten defense, so I really like the over in this game. And covering, I think Bowling Green covers and possibly wins, but I would bet the over before I would bet a side in this game. 5:30 on ESPN, first responsible Texas State Rice from Dallas, from SMU's home stadium. My line's Texas State plus 2 total, 63 and 2/5, and it's 3.5 and 58.5. I love the over in this one as well. I'm kind of glad that I'm giving out overs because overs usually hit in bowls. Up and down game, I feel like a lot of points. This screams shootout, so I like the over. And last but not least, a decent bowl game, 9 o'clock on ESPN. Kansas UNLV. My line's Kansas by 2, total 60 and 9/20, and it is Kansas by a whopping 11.5, total 66.5. I'm taking UNLV getting the points. I think that they're going to hang around. I understand Jalen Daniels isn't playing for Kansas, but their backup quarterback has been pretty good. So that's why I adjusted my line differently and still have Kansas as a favorite. But UNLV's going to cover that spread. That is way too many points. I know everybody loves Kansas. It's the second year in a row they're in the bowl. Lance Leipold's an excellent head coach. Listen, Kansas is going to win tonight, but I think UNLV covers the spread. UNLV's had a good year, too. Give them their respect. So, I'm going to take UNLV plus 11.5 to cover. Okay, now move on to college basketball. Busy weekend. We will go over the results from the weekend. We have no games today. Games resume tomorrow, and there's only 2 games tomorrow, which is insane. So, Friday was a light window. Bryant over Drexel, 104-86. Loyola, Maryland over St. Mary's, Maryland, 91-57. UMass beats BU. That's UMass Lowell, 71-63. VMI beats Penn State, NK, 82-65. Number 20, James Madison beats Morgan State, 89-75. SEC beats Reuben Parker, 101-84. NJIT beats Medgar Evers, 127-51. Charlotte beats Greensboro, 91-44. St. Peter's beats Keene, 73-70. That was not UNC Greensboro. That was just regular Greensboro. Wright State beats Muskingum, 101-54. Miami of Ohio beats Vermont, 70-69. Princeton beats Delaware Valley, 84-53. Stephen F. Austin beats Paul Quinn, 115-58. Cornell beats Robert Morris, 90-85. Milwaukee beats Chattanooga, 85-83 in OT. Wagner beats Gwinnett Mercy, 98-39. George Mason beats Tulane, 69-66. Bowling Green beats Siena Heights, 79-58. Merrimack beats Bucknell, 68-52. Brown beats Siena, 71-67. South Florida beats Albany, 89-73. Number 19, Texas beats A&M Corpus Christi 71-55. UAB beats Drake 79-78 in OT. Georgia beats North Florida 78-60. Towson beats Nichols 65-55. Cal State Northridge beats Montana State 82-70. Florida beats Grambling 96-57. Nevada beats TCU 88-75. And Hawaii, number 18, Clemson beats Queens 109-79. SMU beats Murray State 92-65. South Carolina beats Elon 70-43. Georgetown loses to number 6 Marquette bad 81-51. Number 10 Baylor beats Miss Valley State 107-48. Cincinnati beats Stetson 83-75. Southern Illinois beats Southern Indiana 81-50. High Point beats Canisius 78-70. Gulf Coast beats Florida Memorial 78-75 in OT. That game was a lot closer than it should have been. Lindenwood beats Rockford 81-54. Florida State beats Winthrop 67-61. VCU beats Maryland Eastern 75-51. Bonaventure beats Binghamton 90-64. In the Diamond Head, Old Dominion beats Temple 78-63. Number 2 Kansas beats Yale 75-60. Wisconsin beats Chicago State 80-53. I should say number 24 Wisconsin. Tulsa beats New Mexico State 65-59. San Fran beats Fresno 77-57. Louisiana beats Rice 84-67. Austin Peay beats Ohio 71-67. Auburn beats Alabama State 82-62. Notre Dame beats Marist 60-56. A&M beats Houston Christian 79-52. Southern Utah beats Middle Tennessee 69-63. Number 13 Illinois beats Missouri 97-73. Number 17 BYU beats Bellarmine 101-59. Utah State beats East Tennessee State 80-65. Maryland beats UCLA 69-60. Number 16 Colorado State beats Loyola Marymount 76-67. Diamond Head Classic Georgia Tech beats Hawaii 73-68. And Diamond Head Classic UMass beats Portland 178. Saturday was loaded. Actually, no, Saturday was the light day. I thought Friday was the light day. Saturday was light for a Saturday in college basketball. And Friday was not as light as I thought it was. So Saturday, Providence beats Butler 85-75 in OT. Mississippi State beats Rutgers 70-60. Mount St. Mary's beats LIU 87-59. Penn beats Rider 77-73 in OT. NC State beats Detroit 83-66. West Virginia beats Toledo 91-81. Number 25 Ole Miss beats Southern Miss 89-72. North Texas beats Texas Arlington 78-52. Xavier beats Seton Hall 74-54. UNC Asheville beats Kennesaw State 79-70. Desert Holiday Classic number 14 FAU beats number 4 Arizona 96-95 in double overtime. So great win for FAU. Number 23 Memphis over Vandy 77-75. Villanova beats DePaul 84-48. Alabama beats Eastern Kentucky 111-67. Santa Clara beats Duquesne 81-73. Number 5 UConn beats St. John's 69-65. And Missouri beats St. Mary's 69-64. And then Christmas Eve was just Diamond Head Classic. Temple beats Portland 55-54. UMass beats Old Dominion 87-65. TCU beats Hawaii 65-51. And Nevada beats Georgia Tech 72-64. And no college basketball today, as I mentioned earlier. All right, NBA. We will go over the results from the weekend and Christmas Day. And we have a nice slate for tonight as well. Friday. Sixers over the Raptors 121-111. Nuggets over the Nets 122-117. Heat over the Hawks 122-113. Rockets over the Mavs 122-96. Kings over the Suns 120-105. Warriors over the Wizards 129-118. Saturday, Bucks over the Knicks 130-111. Celtics over the Clippers 145-108. Nuggets over the Hornets 102-95. Magic over the Pacers 117-110. Rockets over the Pelicans 106-104. Grizzlies over the Hawks 125-119. Nets over the Pistons 126-115. Jazz over the Raptors 126-119. Cavs over the Bulls 109-95. Lakers over the Thunder 129-120. Mavs over the Spurs 114-119. Warriors over the Blazers 126-106. T-Wolves over the Kings 110-98. Christmas Day, Knicks over the Bucks 129-122. Nuggets over the Warriors 120-114. Celtics over the Lakers 126-115. Heat over the Sixers 119-113. Mavs over the Suns 128-114. Now tonight's slate, 7 o'clock. Nets, Pistons. The Pistons obviously have lost 26 straight games. So they're aiming to dodge their 27th straight loss. And they're home against Brooklyn. Honestly, a winnable game for Detroit. I only have them as a 4 3/4 underdog to Brooklyn. Total 230 and 4/5. Obviously, no Ben Simmons or Lonnie Walker for Brooklyn. We have Brooklyn 6.5, total 232. Numbers are close, but I'm going to take the slight lean to the Pistons to cover. Magic Wizards. My line is the Magic 8 3/4, total 233 and 11/20, and 7.5 and 238. Under. That's way too high of a total. Magic have a good defense. 8 o'clock, Hawks Bulls. Mine's Hawks by 2, total 234. And the Bulls are giving 1.5, total 233.5. I'm taking Hawks plus 1.5 and plus 102 outright. Hawks are due. NBA TV, a sneaky good game between the Pacers and the Rockets. My line's the Rockets 1.25, total 235 and 9/20. And it's 3.5 and 237.5. This is a hard one. I have a 2.25 edge on Indiana. And I have a less than 2.25 edge. I have like 2 1/5 edge on the under, so I'm going to take Indiana getting the 3.5. They have the best player on the court too, in Tyrese Halliburton, so it makes sense to take them here. Next up, Grizzlies Pelicans. My line's the Pelicans by 7 3/4, so 224 and 1/5. And it's 4.5 and 230. Oh wait, I forgot to do the Ja Morant adjustment because so that would be 3 points. So the line now is Pelicans by 4 3/4. So sorry about the change on the fly. So I like the under. That's too high of a total. Game of the night. I'm surprised this isn't NBA TV. They should have done this game instead because it's better. Not the Pacers Rockets is a bad game by any stretch. That's a good game, but this is a better game. T-Wolves Thunder. My line is the Thunder by 0.5. Total 227 and 1/5. And it is 2.5 and 228. I'm going to take the T-Wolves to cover 2.5. Jazz Spurs. My line is the Jazz by 4 3/4, still 233. And it's 3.5 and 241.5. I like the under. That's way too high. 10 o'clock, Kings Blazers. My line is the Kings by 9.5, total 228 and 4/5. And it's 8 and 236.5 on their way under. The Blazers are not good offensively. And 10:30 on NBA TV, Hornets Clippers. Minus the Clippers by a whopping 18 and 3/4, still 230 and 7/20. It's ended. It's 12 and 230. I'm going to lay the 12 with the Clippers. So I don't see that game being close without LaMelo Ball. Okay, now move on to the NHL. I believe there were a couple games to recap from the weekend. Yes. And the league resumes tomorrow. So Friday, Oilers over the Rangers 4-3. Red Wings over the Flyers 7-6 in a shootout. Flyers came back from like 5-0 in that game to take the lead at one point. Jets over the Bruins 5-1. That's a big win for Winnipeg. And the Habs over the Blackhawks 5-2. Saturday, Stars over the Preds 3-2. Panthers over the Golden Knights 4-2. Sens over the Pens 5-4 in OT. Devils over the Red Wings 3-2. Lightning over the Caps 2-1. Leafs over the Jackets 4-1. Rangers over the Sabres 4-3 in OT. Wild over the Bruins 3-2. So the Bruins back-to-back losses heading into the holiday break. Isles over the Canes 5-4. Blues over the Blackhawks 7-5. Kraken over the Ducks 3-2. Avs over the Coyotes 4-1. Canucks over the Sharks 7-4. And the Kings over the Flames 5-3. So no hockey until tomorrow. Okay, now move on to the portfolio. We love doing this segment every week. This is a Tuesday thing. We did it on a Wednesday a couple weeks ago because I was out of a legalized betting state. But this is a fun segment that I brought onto the show this year, and I've had some decent calls. Orioles to win the AL East. A couple portfolio picks I throw in like on the side. Like Emmanuel Quickly for sixth man was like 80-1, but he didn't win, but it was close. Came in second. So I'm gonna sneak around a little bit. So the only award that's up is MVP, and Lamar Jackson's now the favorite at -170. Brock Purdy is 13-1. Yikes. We can get some value in MVP. Right now, Josh Allen is 13-1, so that's something to look at. But the rest of the awards are down. I know I want to do a soccer portfolio pick, but I might wait till next week to do that because some of these leagues are off and I haven't had time to study yet. The national championship is a good one because college basketball's on a little bit of a hiatus. I love betting on long shots for the title in college basketball. But nothing really intrigues me. A couple of them do. Gonzaga 50-1 is intriguing. Kentucky 22-1 intriguing. Maybe the NBA market. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander 6-1 for MVP. I took him in the portfolio for MVP. Tyrese Maxey's a monster favorite for most improved. I took Alperen Sengun on the portfolio a couple weeks ago. The sixth man of the year is one you could find value. Coach of the year is another one where you can find value. But the guy I like for Coach of the Year is only plus 550. If he had double-digit odds, and that is Jamal Mosley, I could have went there to make the playoffs. Oh, here's a good one. The Sixers to be the 1 seed is 10-1. And Boston is -400 to be the 1 seed. And Philly's only 3 back of them. So 10-1 for Philly is the 1 seed. A nice bet. To make the playoffs, odds are good as well, but you might need to lay some juice with that one. Division futures are fun in hockey. The Eastern Conference in hockey is a 4-way tie for the favorite. Toronto Rangers, Boston, Carolina. Colorado's still the favorite for the Stanley Cup, which is crazy. I took Vancouver to win the Cup a couple weeks ago. They were like 35-1. Now they're down to 28-1. Here's a fun one to do a future in Major League Baseball. Let's look there. The Dodgers are overwhelming favorites to win the World Series, which is crazy. But the offseason's not over yet, and guys could be traded and whatnot. So, there's awards out. Features Aaron Judge is the favorite for the AL MVP, and then Juan Soto is the second choice. That's like Yankees bias right there. Acuna is the favorite for the NL MVP. Ohtani is 10-1, and his teammates Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman have better odds than him. That's insane. I'll tell you what, I think the AL MVP is probably the rightful favorite now that Ohtani's out of that league. But I should just go back to college basketball and take a shot in the dark with one of these teams to win the title. I'm just debating. A team I took earlier in the year is 65-1. I got them at 35-1. That's Texas. There's a Big Ten team that is off to a decent start. They're 10-2. And they're 75-1 to win the title. That's the Ohio State Buckeyes. I'm just going to do it for the shot in the dark sake. I'm only going to lay 1/10 of a unit on it. Because how likely is it? But all it takes is one hot run. So we'll go with Ohio State at 75-1 to win the national title in college basketball. Just a different one. Just basing it on value and what the record is right now. Why not just go with it? All right, news and notes is going to be a long segment too, because there's just a lot to get into. But I'm going to try to be as quick as possible. Lamar Jackson went off on Mark Florio. They called him out after the big win last night. We talked about Lamar being the favorite for MVP already. There's a viral Trevor Lawrence picture from the other night. Jahmyr Gibbs of the Lions got drug tested after the Lions went over the Vikings. Trevor Lawrence says it doesn't even look like we practiced after the 6 straight loss. Yikes. Amari Cooper set the Browns single game franchise record, 265 yards. It was a career high for him. The Lions clinched the division over the weekend. Aiden Hutchinson went live. And then Amari Cooper, after the big game, says he's unguardable. Big Dom's suspension got upheld as he will not be permitted on the sideline for the remainder of the year. That's not great for Philly. So, Brock Purdy, I don't know if he got hurt last night, but Sam Darnold came in the game. He threw a touchdown. He suffered a stinger, it looks like. Trevor Lawrence has a shoulder sprain. Uncertain to play this upcoming week. Jalen Waddle, high ankle sprain, could miss the rest of the regular season. That's not great for Miami. And their chances to win that division. Isaiah Pacheco got ruled out of the Chiefs game due to a concussion. TJ Hawkinson's knee not good, as the Vikings are bracing for damage when his MRI comes back. So that means torn ACL for the year, probably. Jordan Addison week to week due to an ankle injury. That's not great for Minnesota. And DJ Wanham tore his quad as he's out for the year. That's a big loss for their defense. So Minnesota took gut punch after gut punch. That they're not going to be the 7th seed. It's going to be the Rams or the Packers. It's going to be those two, and the Cowboys being like the wild cards. Or the Eagles. You never know, but it's probably going to be the Cowboys and then those two, the Rams and the Packers. Jerick McKinnon placed on IR due to a groin injury, so he'll miss the rest of the regular season. Josh Jacobs did not play against the Chiefs due to a quad injury and illness. Obviously, White comes in and is awesome. Michael Pittman got ruled out as he was placed back in concussion protocol. Kenny Pickett will be back against the Seahawks after the thigh throat surgery. And this is after Mason Rudolph played the game of his life. Jeffrey Simmons placed on IR due to a knee injury. Will miss the rest of the year. Ryan Tannehill started against the Seahawks. And then Geno Smith was back from his groin injury. Brian Robinson, the running back on the Commanders, was out against the Jets. Jonathan Taylor came back against the Falcons. Luka Doncic, the 6th fastest player in NBA history to reach 10,000 points. So that's pretty cool. There was a ridiculous 490 grand parlay hit after Christian McCaffrey's touchdown. Actually, not too far away from yours truly. That's where it took place. So, congratulations to the gentleman. That's a really nice payout. So that's pretty cool, close to home, with the guy hitting 490K, and that went pretty viral. That showed up on its way to my news and notes here on Bleacher Report News. The Giants actually benched Tommy DeVito for Tyrod Taylor. That probably should have happened in the Saints game. But Tommy DeVito got concussed in that game. Or not concussed, but they checked him out for a concussion when they threw him back in. And that's probably why the Giants thought he struggled, because of that. So, the move was the right move. I mean, they got the Giants back in the game. Granted, one of those touchdowns was a pick six. But, yeah. And the Giants also signed Mason Crosby after Cade York and Randy Bullock were placed on IR. Steve Kerr was heated after Nikola Jokic took 18 free throws against the Warriors. The general belief is that Draymond Green to miss 6 to 8 weeks, as he's likely to return in January if he satisfies the NBA's requirements. John Morant has more wins than the Pistons now. I wonder if the Pistons, the Grizzlies, are going to go on a nice run to sneak back into the race with Ja back. That's something to watch. I want to see what their number is to make the play-in. I saw their playoff number to be in the top 8 is plus 490. Well, I was looking for a portfolio pick. Hawks forward DeAndre Hunter out 2 weeks after knee procedure. So, Joel Embiid and Jimmy Butler both missed the Christmas Day game. Both because of injuries. But the Heat still won and covered. Kawhi didn't play against the Celtics because of the hip injury. Gabe Vincent may need surgery as he's strongly considering procedure on knee with a timetable of 6 to 8 weeks. That's something to watch for the Lakers. Victor Wembanyama got injured in warm-ups against the Mavericks as he tweaked his ankle after stepping on a ball boy. Yikes. Deontay Wilder loses in return fight against Joseph Parker. Unanimous decision. So that's a big result there. There's a viral picture going on with Jeter and Posada in their pajamas. That is pretty cool. LeBron James wants a Hall of Fame rule change as he made a post about that. The college basketball AP poll is out. 1 through 5, Purdue, Kansas, Houston, Arizona, UConn. 6 through 10, Tennessee, FAU, Kentucky, Carolina, Marquette. 11 through 15, Illinois, Oklahoma, Gonzaga, BYU, Colorado State. 16 through 20, Duke, Baylor, Clemson, Memphis, James Madison. 21 through 25, Texas, Creighton, Wisconsin, Ole Miss, Providence. Others receiving votes: Auburn, Colorado, Miami, Utah, Virginia, Iowa State, Nevada, Ohio State, Texas A&M, Michigan State, San Diego State, Villanova, New Mexico, Northwestern, Dayton, Grand Canyon, South Carolina, Mississippi State, Alabama, Princeton. And then obviously Virginia drops from the rankings. Sad news in college basketball as Michigan State freshman guard Jeremy Fears Jr. was shot as he underwent surgery for non-life-threatening injury to leg. And he made a post on Instagram, and then he was discharged from the hospital over the weekend as well. So, it's good that he's going to be okay. The Angels are eyeing Teoscar Hernandez and Blake Snell. And the Rangers are targeting Clayton Kershaw. Amid Dodgers' latest moves. I still think the Dodgers can use him back. And the Red Sox are eyeing Teoscar Hernandez as he's seen as a logical fit for them. The Padres land Yuku Matsui, 5-year, $28 million deal. So that's a good signing for the Padres in terms of getting a free agent. The Mariners are signing Mitch Garver, 2 years, $24 million. Jeff Passan last night tweeted breaking news in Capitals letters like it was Blake Snell that signed. So, Jim Harbaugh's contract has an NFL clause as his 10 years, $125 million offer would prevent him from seeking NFL jobs this year. Yikes. There's a controversial ending in a bowl game, the Camellia Bowl, as Arkansas State had onside recovery called back for offsides in the Camellia Bowl. And then there was a brawl after the South Alabama Eastern Michigan game as the Eastern Michigan player took a swing after a 49-point loss to South Alabama. Ole Miss adds Walter Nolan as he was the number 2 overall prospect from Texas A&M. So that's a good get for Ole Miss. Maybe change the scenery. Georgia landing 2 guys, Colby Young of Miami and Trevor Etienne of Florida. So 2 good ads for Georgia. After faltering in the SEC title game, Malik Murphy commits to Duke over Baylor, South Carolina, and Oregon State. So Duke gets himself its Riley Leonard replacement. So Shohei Ohtani's awesome. He bought a car for the player on the Dodgers that wore 17. His wife. So that is awesome. Very generous of Shohei Ohtani. You gotta love to see that. Yeah, Joe Kelly's wife. That's awesome. And then it was a viral thing. Yamamoto and Ohtani were spotted at a restaurant in L.A. There is no Zach LaVine trade sweepstakes, as sans the rumors, there isn't a big market. That's what we thought. And the Wizards, Kyle Kuzma has high trade value, as the Wizards could receive legit first-round draft capital for trading Kyle Kuzma. I think they will trade Kyle Kuzma. I really think they will. And I think the team that would be perfect for him is Sacramento. I've been saying that for a while. Jets owner Woody Johnson confirms that Robert Saleh and Joe Douglas will return next season. Well, they can thank Aaron Rodgers for blowing out his Achilles on the 4th play of the year for that, or else they would have been gone, unless if the Jets made the playoffs with Rodgers. But so those guys are back, and then the Jets played a decent game despite blowing that lead yesterday or 2 days ago. And on the flip side, a guy that's now on the hot seat is Falcons head coach Arthur Smith, as he needs a strong finish after he was thought to be safe earlier in the year. Well, that's what happens when you lose to the Panthers. Aaron Rodgers is eyeing former teammates Devontae Adams and Aaron Jones. I mean, the guy they really need is David Bakhtiari. They need Bakhtiari the most. I mean, Adams would make sense. Adams and Garrett Wilson together would be cool. I mean, they don't need Aaron Jones. They have Breece Hall. Like, that's ridiculous. But if I'm Rodgers, you're begging him to get you Bakhtiari. That's the guy you need, because your offensive line stinks. Penn State offensive lineman Olu Fashanu declares for the draft. He's going to be a first-round pick. So that's not surprising. 5-star power forward Darion Reed commits to Alabama over Florida State and Georgia. So good get for Nate Oates and Alabama. All right, last but not least, my best bet of the day brought to you by FanDuel. So there's not a lot that really jumped out to me today. So I might just go to soccer for what we know for today. And I'm going to take Leicester over Ipswich. It's just a safe bet. And Leicester's good. And granted, they're on the road, but they're better than Ipswich. So I'm like a quarter unit on Leicester plus 130 against Ipswich for my best bet of the day. Okay, so that's it for the show. I'll be back tomorrow recapping everything and look at everything tomorrow as well. College basketball returns, but only 2 games. NHL returns with a big slate, so we have a lot to do tomorrow. So we're looking forward to it. Hope you guys have a great day, everyone.